and Derby Rowing Club on the far side of the river. They beat Cambridge 99 yesterday in their race. Avon also performed well yesterday, and they look a very, very impressive crew. But Derby in the white boat, Avon in the yellow Empacker, and we've got a pretty clean start.
I love that patience just on that first couple of strokes there from Avon. Derby just a little bit more frantic, keen to get their rate of striking up in the early stages of this race, but Avon just that patience on strokes 1, 2 and 3. But now they're up, now they've got their engine firing, and Avon Rowing Club are here to race.
I tell you, they look good for youngsters, don't they? Because, you know, looking down the age of this crew, they're all pretty much 19 years of age. The stroke, Fred Vassiver, whose hope is to row for New Zealand, not just in the World Championships, but in the Olympics. And I guess he's inspired by New Zealand winning that gold in the Olympic 8s in 2021. But they look so mature for youngsters.
And they do. Well, I think 4 on board of this crew all raced at the Under-19 World Championships in the New Zealand 8. So they've already got that gelling time together in a very incredible international crew, and they're bringing that onto the club scene here, are already out to nearly a length's advantage over Derby Rowing Club.
I'll tell you what I find interesting is, you know, Hamilton boys came over to the Princess Elizabeth, a lot of noise about them winning the Mardy Cup, being such a strong crew, and I think their performance was slightly underwhelming. And yet this crew, okay, they're not schoolboys, they're 19, seem to be firing on all cylinders.
I think they've flown in under the radar perhaps a little bit because of that noise that Hamilton have generated. You know, in the Princess Elizabeth, you always want to have the fastest crews from Australia, the US, New Zealand coming, and that always draws the crowd. So perhaps this Avon crew just flown in under the radar a little bit, doing their business, and here they are now just breaking clear of Derby in the opening stages of this round of the Thames Challenge Cup.
Red Blaze of Avon, great shot that synchronicity that you heard us talking about. And the coach here is Will Satch, who's been out to New Zealand, but their primary coach is, of course, Logan Keys of Avon Rowing Club. And I'm not sure if Logan is out here, but I guess he is out here. Thank you, Fergus. I haven't seen him out here. So it's great to see Logan working together with the British Olympic champion, Will Satch. So let's have a look at the Derby blades. On the bow side, how'd you rate that, Fergus?
Do you know, I think in these tough conditions we've got out in the water, I think that blade work from Derby is superb. You know, all in time, all catching together. And we see, particularly at the finish, no one's popping out particularly early ahead of anyone else. It's a well-drilled crew, this Derby unit.
So there's the Avon crew going through. Sam Wilson at bow, Oscar Clackworthy, Henry Kirk in the 3 seat. I'm just going down to Ted Main, Josh Syme, Fergus Johnson, the 18-year-old in the 6th seat, Sam Woodgate, and then stroke Fred Vassiver. He's a 20-year-old. He's the one 20-year-old in the boat, Cox Ashley Tackon. And they have got this race completely under control. I must admit, Derby got closer to them at the barrier than I thought, because I looked at the times yesterday, and Avon were 1:54 to the barrier, and Derby were 2:03, and I thought, you know, they're going to have about 4 or 5 lengths by the barrier. But it wasn't like that, was it?
No, and I think if you're in Derby's position, you're going up against this unknown quantity, a crew you know very little about, other than they've won club championship 8s, and they were 1, 2, 3 in club Coxless 4s at New Zealand. So they're going to be quick, whatever they are. So I think you've got to blast out of the blocks, have a crack, see if you can break Avon under pressure. But they haven't quite been able to do that, and we can just see now Avon just starting to relax it a bit more. I think the tension that was perhaps in the shoulders in the early stages from Avon is just starting to disappear. But of course you can do that when you're sitting a couple of lengths of clear water up on your opposition.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're going to look good, but to be fair, they look good off the start. I kind of think they're still trucking. I don't know what the coaching team would have said to them about how far down the course do you go. But I guess whether it's Fred Vassiver in the coach seat or Ashley Tackle in the Cox's seat, I would say, one of you guys make a decision now. You don't need to be at that kind of pace. You know, it might feel good, but okay. So you're going to go into tomorrow's race against Leander Club. Big race. You don't want to have too much in your legs at this stage. So you know, why doesn't he take it down? Just ease off, because they've beaten Derby.
Quite often, I think you see with some of the international cruises, perhaps they don't quite understand the nature of a Henley Royal Rumble, knowing that you've got to go through 5 rounds of racing to get to it. And you'll see them race just a little bit longer than you would with your Brooks or your Leander, who know when they've got the race and the job done and dusted, and they can afford to take the foot off the gas pedal a little bit. I think they brought the rate down ever so slightly, but again, as you're saying, they can afford just to enjoy this last little row through the regatta various enclosures.
I wonder if it's a bit of youth, a bit of inexperience. I don't know what the coaches would have said. To be fair, you know, they may be under orders to have a decent workout, and that's the best preparation they could have for racing Leander. We wait for the Derby crew to come up. Derby Rowing Club is a fantastic rowing club, founded, as a lot of rowing clubs were, in a pub in the 19th century, but it's won awards. It punches well above its weight, and athletes training for GB trials and the like. And Derby Rowing Club last year, I think, won one of British Rowing's prestigious award for being sort of one of the up-and-coming club or club of the year or something. So it must feel great to row at Derby Rowing Club, and they row there on the River Derwent.
Yeah, one of the top clubs. I think a top 10 result at Pearshead for a couple of years in a row now. Mix that in with 4th fastest club 8s at Met Regatta, and at the Jackson Trophy, that's the provincial clubs at the head of the rover, 5th in that. So one of the real stalwarts of provincial rowing in the UK. But when you come up against the champions from New Zealand, we can see there now the rate's coming down. Now you can enjoy this row. Just that shot there of the bowman, Sam Wilson. Just a wee look over, just checking the margin, but they'll know victory is all but guaranteed at this stage.
Yeah, they're in a nice rhythm now, aren't they? They're really taking that time around the back. That's the finish of the stroke, just as their blades come towards their bodies. Just that little moment of quiet and calm and stillness in the body before it rocks over to move up to the catch. And you can see Ashley Tack on there, Cox, just guiding them down. We can look out of our commentary box and see Avon Rowing Club come up to the finish line to win this heat of the Thames Challenge Cup comfortably from their opposition from Derby. You can tell it's comfortably, because when you just easy with the blades sat like that, it's just a tell, isn't it? Derby Rowing Club come up to the finish line. Well done, guys. Great Henley campaign for you. I fancy that race tomorrow between Avon and Leander. Who's your money on?
I think I'd go with Avon. I like the chances. I had a chat with Logan earlier on in the week.